Time to talk investing right now. So pleased to be joined by Seth Allen once again from Cadence at Raymond James. Welcome back.
Thanks, Thor.
Now, I know you don't like to look into your crystal ball and do a lot of generalizing when it comes to investing for the next couple of weeks or couple of months. Let's think long-term right now. It's still January, so we're still thinking about things, for the upcoming year. But if we think about the decade, artificial intelligence is a big theme right now. Talk to us first of all about what AI is, because it's not a new concept.
Yeah, you're right. I think that artificial intelligence is becoming a big theme for this decade, and AI, as it's better known, is actually not new. It's been around since the 1950s, and essentially what it is using computers to mimic human behavior to learn or solve problems. And of course, there's two types of branches of AI. There's the one that we often think about as the Terminator,
of course,
which is what Elon Musk worried about, and that's kind of mimicking human learning, or the self-thinking robot that's going to take over the world. But the reality is that's kind of long off in the future and not a near-term probability.
So that's not a practical thing for people to think about right now necessarily investing in, but there's the other side to it as well.
Yeah, and it's big data. And people may have been hearing this term big data, but essentially what it is allowing AI to go in and analyze big data that it then allows for good decision-making and outcomes and efficiencies in various businesses and personal lives of people.
Okay, so how are we seeing big data right now growing exponentially with the world and our reliance on technology, and what role does AI have in big data?
Well, I think what we're starting to see now is more and more artificial intelligence, or AI, touching everything from business to personal life. And we're seeing in the industries such as healthcare, telecommunications. We're seeing in our own homes when it comes to appliances. Seen even in the heating and cooling of buildings that in downtown Vancouver.
A lot of different applications. Give us sort of like a real-world analogy in terms of how much more efficient AI is versus the traditional human worker.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people can get a little bit kind of mixed up in terminology, and one analogy that I use, or a metaphor I use, is to think of an air traffic controller who is sitting there helping to land one plane at a time.
Right.
With artificial intelligence, it can land 1,000 planes at a time. Now, obviously, we're not going to actually use AI right now to land planes, but I think people can get the idea that when you have big data, artificial intelligence can be used to make a lot of decisions quickly.
Okay, so the big question right now is, with 5G looming on the horizon, should people be waiting for that to come out before investing in AI?
No, I know that 5G has been a lot talked about in terms of the ability to move big data and what have you, and that will definitely play a role in the future for artificial intelligence. But there's companies right now that are profitable and that are engaged in using AI in their businesses. Common companies that people would have heard of, like Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, are all involved in the AI space in some way, whether it's in data storage or actual AI applications.
Okay, so what's the best way for investors to get involved with AI?
Well, I think that if investors take a step back and think about the late 1990s and early 2000s, and think about the coming of the internet when we got past the dial-up and,
right,
and actually started using the internet for things, I think that with AI that it's going to be multifaceted in terms of various applications to invest in. But right now, you can invest in AI-themed ETFs. Some of the companies I mentioned earlier, such as Microsoft or Google or Amazon. But there's also a lot of companies, surprisingly, that trade on the TSX, our own home Canadian exchange, that are doing quite well in that space, and we actually have a whole list of them. So if people want more information, they can actually go to our website at cadencefinancialgroup.com, and we'd be happy to provide a list of some of those names.
Outstanding. Thanks as always.
Thank you, Thor.
All right, Seth, we'll talk to you soon.